So, was Six Goddis lying? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. So I want to talk about Six Goddis. Now, I've talked about her before. Love her message. If you don't know anything about her, she basically teaches femininity, which is something that's absolutely needed in the day and age of the modern day, the day of wokeness, all these feminists. Femininity is absolutely needed because, the society is trying to teach women to be masculine, to be men. But we need more femininity from female. We don't need masculinity, and that's what she teaches. And this is why I love her message. Now, what I don't like, though, is the race hustling, because she's a straight-up race hustler, and she's liable at any time to go into a 4 or 5 minute race rant over nothing but nonsense that she's been brainwashed with. But the thing is though, her message has always superseded the race hustling. However, though, when this whole just pearly thing was going down, and she was piling on with the rest of the race hustlers, the race hustling started to supersede her message. And then she'll get a lot of people who get turned off. And again, they got a lot of clapback from that. She didn't realize that she would get that clapback from other black people, because usually they're used to just crying about racism and never check. But they start to get checked. That lets you know that black people start to wake up, and we're like saying enough of this foolishness. And thankfully, all this nonsense has died down with the just pearly things, although we know that the race hustlers haven't forgotten. And if they can find something else, quote unquote, racist about just pearly things and pearl, they'll be crying that. But she's gotten back to her message, thankfully. Now, in light, though, of this whole just pearly things, there was a couple of things that came out about her that people were saying. And the first thing was that she used to be a stripper. Now, and people were saying, well, how can you teach femininity and teach your message when you used to be a stripper? I don't see how she can. I mean, it's not like they're the polar opposites. Especially when people talk about how one thing that you'll see from a lot of black women who are strippers, they'll be feminine. They'll be very feminine because they know that's what's going to attract the interest of men. So I don't see how you can say that she can't teach femininity because she used to be a stripper. Now, what I do find funny is that, she says, her name is Six Goddis, so I'm guessing that used to be her stripper name. I'm pretty sure that used to be her stripper name. Now, she said that she refused to go by the, colonizer name that her mama gave her, but you can go by a stripper name. Can't make this up. Anyway, her being a stripper is absolutely no problem to me. Look, strippers, even though it's not the most moral thing, but strippers aren't harming the black community, And if you want to go see a stripper as a man or a woman, you have to go to a strip club, which means that stuff is kept behind closed doors where it should be and where a lot of this stuff used to be. She's not out popping and twerking on people's tables and chairs out here. She does keep it classy in that regard. But like I said, I have zero problem with her being a stripper because strippers really truly aren't hurting the black community. It's not hurting the black community at all. Again, it's not the most moral, and if you're a Christian, obviously you'll be opposed to that behavior, but it's really truly not harming the black community. Now, the second thing that came out about her, though, is rumored that she used to be involved in selling drugs. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I'm willing to bet there's some truth to it. If she was a stripper, then she's willing to get into selling drugs. And this is a problem. I have a problem with that. As I said in my last video, drug dealers is some of the highest form of coonery that black people can do. Drug dealing in the black community, pushing these poisons in the black community, participating in these drugs, these poisons being pushed in the black community. That's a coon. I mean, there's no way around it. Now, as I always say, and I always like to go back to, people have to go out and buy these drugs. You have to make these free free will choice to go out and buy drugs. But you still don't mean that you shouldn't be selling drugs to your own people, just like you have to make the free will choice to go out and go to a strip club. But strippers, like I said, strippers aren't harming the black community, but these drug dealers are. And, how can she sit up here and be so pro-black and use to sell drugs? Again, if she stopped doing it, that's great. But like I said, it's just one of the highest form of coonery that any black person can do. I have a problem with her if it's true that she used to sell drugs. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I believe it's true. Now, one of her shows, she was talking about when she went on one of her race rants. She was talking about how she had evidence, an example how the police officers were racist. And she said that she saw with her eye, literally saw her own self, how a police officer was parked outside of some dude's house. I'm guessing the dude that she was messing with or something like that. And when he drove off, they followed behind him. Now, I remember when I first heard this, my spidey senses were going off. Because I knew I'm hearing BS. There's some BS written all over this. I know BS when I hear it. Because I know police officers and police in general are not out here staking and staking out random black people for no reason. If there's a police officer surveilling you, there's a reason why they're surveilling you, because you more than likely are involved in some suspicious activity. What suspicious activity could that possibly be? Drugs. Could it be that dude was involved in drugs and that's the dude that she was messing with while she was involved in drugs? So they just go to show you how people can straight off lie. And when I say that leftists lie or tell half-truths, and the half-truth is just as much of a lie as a lie. She told us about how the police followed this dude, but she left out all the other relevant information of why. So she told us the what, but like a true leftist, leave out the how or the why. So was she lying on that? Was she lying? I agree. I think she was lying her ass off. Because we know that police officers, again, has anybody seen that police officers just randomly stick it out in front of black people's homes for no reason? Like police officers just have unlimited resources to be spying on people? No, they don't. Even in the hood, deep in the worst hoods that you could find, you still have the majority of people are still good people, not out here committing crime. So the police is not sticking out everybody. They're surveying the people who they believe are involved in something. So that was a flat out lie that she told. Now the reason why I'm going over this is to show you how people can lie and how you have to, again, you have to read between the lines and you have to start being able to discern things and know truth for what it is. Because we know that police officers are not just picking a random person, or we can say modern day pick a Negro, just picking a random person and parking outside their home and surveilling them, and when they drive off and the police follow them. And I when she gave with that story, I knew instantly that she wasn't talking about a black man dressed in a business suit going to his corporate office and who's in corporate America. She's talking about some Pookie and Ray Ray involved in some suspicious activity, because this is who the police follow and who have surveillance on. Anyway, like I said, I just thought I'd call out that nonsense of hers. They always say that truth comes to light, and what's done in the dark is going to come to the surface. It's going to come into the light. And what she basically, we got more info on that little story that she told. We got other side, we got the other truth that she didn't tell. But anyway, like I say, y'all, beware of these leftists, because they will lie to you. That's what they do. They just lie their asses off. And the reason why they do this is because they're not in it for the truth. They're in it for their agenda, and they're going to push their agenda no matter what, even if it means lying. So yeah, she was lying her ass off with that. She gave us the half-truths and not the whole truth to try to demonize the police. Anyway, y'all, I just thought I'd highlight that because this is the stuff that you have to keep an eye on when you're dealing with leftists, because they will lie. They will, to your face. Anyway, y'all, as always, until next time.